Thank you. Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Ian Mann, and joining me on the panel today are Mr. Kent Seelan and Ms. Diane Knight. The Assessment Department personnel is Mr. Jonathan Spacek, and the administrative personnel is Ms. Phoebe Graywood. We will be hearing applications for revision of the business assessment role in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act and the City of Winnipeg Charter. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessment are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today, and the session will close after all of the applications have been heard. The board will then deliberate in private and make its decision. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing the scheduled items 1 through 6 on our docket today. Ms. Graywood, would you please affirm the assessors and the applicant's testimony?
Mr. Spacek, please state your full name.
Jonathan Spacek.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Neufeld, please state your full name.
Ayrton Neufeld.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we get into the first brief, I would just like to make a comment that there are some time constraints on us today, and the submissions must be finished by 11:30. So I would encourage all witnesses to be succinct. There's a similarity in the evidence filed, and if we can have a good fulsome discussion the first time around that evidence, and then apply it as needed for the other properties, that should assist. I certainly don't want to restrict any part of your submission, but please keep the time constraints in mind. Thank you very much. Mr. Spacek, then, if we can turn to number 1 on the docket, that is the street address of 3700 Portage Avenue. If you could lead us through your evidence, please.
Thank you. And can you hear me okay on this headset here?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're back then. All right. Much more comfortable. Here we go. We will get right to the point here. We're looking at 3700 Portage. This is roll year 2025, file number 24-4151, file number 24-5141. This is the annual business assessment hearing for 3700 Portage Avenue. Business name Winnipeg Hyundai. We have complete dealerships for this, or what we call VCDs for this whole docket today. Well, first one is 3700 Portage. We have 29,062 square feet with a base ARV of 366,181. That is based on the base ARV of $12.60 a square foot. We then add the occupancy costs for that square footage, which totals 71,767 for a total annual rental value of 437,940. Again, I'm asking to maintain the 2025 total ARV. You will see for my comparables today for that rental rate, you'll see I've included what was included for the realty briefs, but this is our list of VCD rent comparables, which are just large retail box stores across the city. We have different areas of the city. You can see how they're listed, but again, just for brevity's sake, if you turn to my page 5 of 7, you'll see there's some nearby the subject property. 3647 Portage, many big box stores in that conglomerate of buildings across the street, and you'll see a range of rental rates from $14 to $21. Again, to finish off on page 6 and 7, I've included the board revision order. Just as this property was heard during the realty cycle, there is an order that confirmed the use of the NOI from us, or our rental rate, but then went with a different capitalization rate. So again, just to make sure we finish these, just make sure you ask me any questions you have on this, but that is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Just,
Speck.
Mr. Chair, would you be able to get the assessor to read in the business assessment ID or roll number?
I know you read in the file number, but yes, I didn't make a note. Did you read in the business assessment ID, or could you read that in, please?
Yeah, the business assessment ID is 29508.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Neufeld, questions?
Yes, thank you. First off, Jonathan, I think you confused this order.
Oh, sorry, this one just was confirmed. Sorry.
Yeah,
Thank you
this
for that.
one,
My
the
apologies.
penalty was granted, so we confirmed it intentionally. So
Perfect.
yeah,
Thank you for that.
No worries. And then my question, I guess, you'll note that there's 29,000 total square feet with only 10,000 air conditioned. So that would make up 19,000. That is essentially shop space. Is that correct?
If that is what's not air conditioned, yes, I would agree.
Yeah. But then, I mean, would you compare the retail units that you brought forward to that shop space, or is that more of an industrial kind of usage in your opinion?
Yeah, I think I think these buildings have different sections. I believe that it's not exactly identical to a retail rate. The reason we use the retail rates mainly is just that for a building like this, there are no true net rents that we can find. So again, we're on the higher end using the retail portion, and then we can assume that possibly this service area would, maybe have different rental rate, different comparables if it was to be split up. But yeah, I agree that I'm not trying to say the whole building is the same as a Marshall's, for example. Just it's the closest thing we can find nearby that's somewhat similar.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, that's makes sense. Those are my questions. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Seelan, any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The only question I have is the age of this building. Do you have that somewhere?
I do have it not on the brief, but I can tell you. I just have to load something because I've closed everything trying to fix my Zoom. But this building was built approximately 1988.
Thank you very much. That
problem.
is the only question I have. Mr. Neufeld, your evidence, please.
Thank you. We a number of these the car dealers have been at the municipal board forever. We have hopefully a test case on an older year coming up. So we have been working together with mostly with Trevor at TDS and also with Altus. We've kind of been pooling our resources for these, as we all have a fair share of them. I'm going to be fully honest. The reason we picked 12 is because it was decided down the street at 12. I don't want to get too close to confirming or to comparing assessments, but in reality, that's like pretty much what the municipal board has tasked us to do. Once this test case comes through, they're hoping that we can take that logic and apply it to everything that's under appeal and clear all of them up. Bit wishful thinking, but I don't think the idea is completely wrong. So that's what I will mention in my page 6 was how I picked the $12. It was the decisions are above it here. This is Point West Auto Mall. Basically, all of them went to $12 at 7.5, and this is 2025. But to go through it, the rents, and I apologize. The one I did want to rely on isn't. I didn't bring it forward today, so I will verbally mention the former Hyundai dealer on Nairn. And again, Jonathan, if Jonathan wants to dispute that I'm bringing it verbally, I that is fair. But it's a $13 rent that was a former dealer that was then applied as the COVID testing center for a year. We like that one because it would kind of show that a year rent, $15, it kind of goes with what we're saying. well, obviously with a year, you'd be going generally higher than the would for a 5 year. So this is the 12 kind of sort of how we line up with it. And again, that's not in evidence, so I do apologize, but we will be relying on it if we have to going forward. I did want to mention it. Other than that, I think, as Jonathan mentioned, it's a little tricky. My page 9 and 10 are the rents that we got from, these are ones that Trevor presents. His are a little bit more comprehensive than ours. So I do want to point out a couple. And again, age is an issue. 19 on page 9, 2554 Portage. That's the former Mercedes dealer. It was repurposed to um, consignment used cars. Very low land, so he's trickier, but it's a former dealer at 750. And again, that's 2015. I don't know the new age, but they were rate, but it wouldn't have gone much higher. And why we don't have the new one, I will have to figure out. The other concept being, if you look at the 1 through 5, these are basically super lubes, super transmissions, that kind of thing. Those would rent generally lower than the retail that the city has brought forward, and we somewhat agree. The front portion is okay to use big box retail. You got a high amount of parking, high ceiling. It's not the best comparison, but it's kind of as close as you can get. The issue we have with it is that because most of this one, over half, 19 about 19,000 square feet, is auto body shop. So the blended rate that we use is 12, but if you're using these $16 fronts and then the rear portion, you're going closer to 8 or 6. That kind of not exactly my thing. You could look at it either by blending it at the 12 as we've done, or separating it out and going lower rate in the back shop portion and a higher rate on the front, more retail portion. And then another rent, which does, I think, kind of explain that a bit on page 10. I like the Trans-Canada Brewing. Again, these are older because we are focusing on those are perfect for our municipal board case coming up. So that's kind of been our main focus for these. And I apologize, we're not updating them. This is $12 for Trans-Canada Brewing, number 22 on page 10. That's a restaurant and half of it, and in the other half is a brewery, like a actual brewery. So it's a very industrial kind of style building. These kind of fit more with these being half and half kind of concepts where you got a showroom and then the automotive, that other half. This one, I think $12 makes a lot of sense. It's a little newer. We could argue lower because this one is older than Point West. Point West is, I think they're all 1999 or so, or early 2000s. But I use 12 for today, just to kind of keep it simple. So that is my request for this one, and that totals to $425.10. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Spacek, questions?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Mr. Seelan, questions?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Ms. Knight?
Just in that 1 to 5 piece that you said at the beginning, this building is built in 1988. So the one in 1965 at 10 and the one at 1970 at 850, those really don't matter. It's only the ones in 1987, correct?
I mean, when you're that old, when you're going that much older and in a use like this, I don't think they're irrelevant. I wouldn't say that they don't matter. I think it is. We kind of view it as older auto body, so they would be less reliable. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the issues too, obviously, one of those is at $12, but that's 2,300 square feet. So
Right.
again, this is not a perfect science, right? So we're bringing kind of as much as we can of the market to kind of try to show what is happening. I think the idea being that, yeah, some of them are going to rent higher, some of them are a lot older, but by and large, this is not something that people are lining up and paying $15 rents for the shop portion, like the city kind of brings forward those retail rents. And I think that we agree with that. It's just they bring their high retail rents, and when we try to argue against it with the low shop rents, right?
Okay, and then your 22 at 1290 Keniston, the one you were talking about, that's 15,000 square feet. It was built in 2015, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So newer, higher quality, really. Yeah. The reason I like that one, I think that makes a lot of sense for the front portions of the Waverly Auto Mall. So we look at these as kind of market areas. This would be closer to the Point West Auto Mall market area, being right down the street. But
Mhm.
by and large, we're looking at valuing the auto malls and the automotives all as kind of one concept. So I like
Right.
that TransCanada rent being closer to Waverly. Of course, it's newer, it's better, but it's also half industrial, right?
And
And that
that's a
Lux Bar,
10-year lease on there, correct?
correct? Yes.
So that'll come up 2025 again.
Yeah, it would come up. That's a tough space because it is Keniston, and it's right next to our Mercedes dealer too, which is why we like to use it. But that space, it's retail, but it's not exactly the most desirable. I think the traffic backup there has a lot of concerns with people there. So um,
Mhm.
again, not perfect comps, but there is a lot of factors that kind of go to either bolster them or discredit them a little. But we like to focus on the ones that we can do bring as close as we can to this concept, which is not typical compared to any other market class.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neufeld. I'm looking at the comp at page 10, number 22, number 23 on that page of Lux Barbecue. That's immediately next door to the TransCanada Brewing, is it not?
That's the same unit or the same building, just a different unit. It's about 6,000 square feet smaller, so I think that would kind of make up for that 1250. That's kind of that not big box because it's much smaller, but it's the same concept as big box retail, which is just low quality, almost industrial style. Not low quality, but it's basically you walk in and it's like it's a retail industrial kind of feel.
Right,
Whereas
concrete
these big box,
floors, open
yeah,
ceilings, things like that. Right.
yes, exactly. Yeah, and you could realistically probably use it for warehouse if you really wanted to, but obviously they can get a bit better rooms for
Okay.
use these uses.
Yeah, and with the fit and finishes, the front of a showroom would have better fit and finishes than, say, the industrial style retail. That's fair to
Absolutely,
say?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think somewhat similar to something like a nicer retail kind of concept. It's not so like again, it's not an exact science. So
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you. I don't have anything further. Mr. Spacek, any summary required?
You know what? No summary required. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Neufeld, any summary?
no, thank you. Other than most of my argument will carry forward for the next properties.
Certainly will apply the evidence that we have heard where relevant to the properties that we have yet to hear. Having heard the evidence, then we will conclude that matter and move to number 2 on the docket. That is the street address of 33 Oak Point Highway. Mr. Spacek, can you introduce the property, please, and provide your evidence?
Absolutely. Thank you. We are looking at file number 24-5119, business assessment ID 4715. This is the 2025 business assessment for 33 Oak Point Highway. We have it's a Volvo truck center. We have 51,783 square feet with a bunch of different values across 5 different premises, but they range from $8.30 up to $13.55. You can see how the building is split up across the center of the page across the 5 different premises. So you have a mix of some retail area when you go in, and you have some larger bays for the trucks. You have kind of a service areas. So we have this building split up across its different kind of builds, and we have a total annual rental value of 696,720, and that's a overall ARV with all of the occupancy costs included of $13.45. So I'm asking to maintain the total ARV today. You'll see we have the same comparables that were used in the realty. Again, range of more big box style retail stores, but again, that's what we have as considered the closest comparable rents. And I've also included on page 6 the realty decision for this property. So this is the one I believe I was getting mixed up with, but again, it was not confirmed, but the decision was based on our NOI, so our rental rate, and then the capitalization rate was adjusted to 7%. So that's where the total value from realty comes. And if you have any specific questions on this property, please let me know. But that is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Neufeld, questions?
Yeah, quickly. Do you know why these premise IDs are separated out like this and they're not done as one or two.
Yeah, I believe it's just because of the piecework. Like, has there been additions over the years? I'm trying
Yes,
to.
yeah, that would
Yeah,
make
this is the one I've had before. But yeah, I believe it's just been put into because of the different ages of the additions and the different, as they're being put on. I believe that's why it is split up as separately as it is compared to just having one large square footage.
okay. Fair enough. I just then if let's just pick an example, but if I don't exactly know which years are which for when the additions are happening, but if you were to you have them separated out so that you would agree that that generally has a higher rent with economies of scale in the smaller area.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think when you're adding additions to a building in a warehouse kind of style that they're not you like you have 10,000 square feet in a warehouse for sake of argument, and it's from 1980, and then in 1990 you add another 10,000 square feet. Do you think that would it make sense to separate those out as two 10,000 square feet units, comparing them to other units of 10,000, or would it make more sense to find 20,000 square foot units to compare them that would be arguably much lower? Um, as that would be the kind of the use of what would be going on physically at that site. Like I'm just trying to kind of like I think it makes some sense that they've been done this way, but is there would it not make a lot more sense to kind of mix them, put them together to kind of get what's actually going on captured there better?
Yeah, I honestly think there's probably arguments for both. Maybe
Yeah.
this is more accurate per building, but I understand the other argument that having it all as one, it is going to sell as one. It would be a lease in place for one, and whether that blended rate makes more sense, again, I'd have to see it. But yeah, I think there's an argument for what you're saying. Absolutely.
Okay, no, thank you. And that would be my question. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
I'm just trying to. Can you come back to me in a second?
Certainly. Mr. Seelan, do you have any questions?
Yes, we have 5 premises IDs. Can we know if these are showrooms? Is this a shop? Is this mezzanine? Can you tell?
Yeah, and I have to load something up, but I will tell you that I reviewed the applicant's evidence and he does have it split up nice with a aerial view of the different of how it's split up better than I do on this brief. So yeah,
Sure.
I believe you will be seeing that split up nice, at least in a nicer form than me reading it out to you.
Okay.
I'm curious about the 5 business IDs as well. Have you inspected this property, Mr. Spacek?
I haven't been through it myself, no other than just looking at the photos.
Okay. And the base ARV per square foot is model driven primarily based on, I'm guessing, size and age. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. The size and age. Just like, and then it's a VCD classification. So that's how it is getting those base ARVs. Those are the same modeled rents, like rental rates for realty that each of those spaces would get.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Back to you, Ms. Knight.
Yeah, I'm just questioning your heat, electricity, water, and air conditioning because you guys are about $13,000 difference. So yours is based on the 73 cents, the 135, the 26, and the 36, and that's what you use for all of the properties, correct?
For 2025, that's the
Yeah, and
occupancy
then you
cost.
have no air conditioning except in the first property, correct?
Yeah, so the first premise is where you walk in, and then there's it's air conditioned, kind of like
Okay.
where people
Yeah.
are at the desks, and then the rest of the area is it's usually like this, where this, like we said in the other property, where a lot of the service area is
Mhm.
not actually air conditioned, just open space. So that's why those are just down to one to represent that they're not fully air conditioned.
Okay, and then you guys are about 1,000 square feet difference in square footage.
Yeah, I could
So
understand that across all the additions and everything that we'd have a
yeah.
difference.
So is yours straight from the what do you call that?
Like the permits.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
ours are just put in as they're reported, and we usually reference the floor plans to put them in.
Okay.
But to the best, and obviously, I haven't reviewed in depth each floor plan, but
Mhm.
that's what we
Mhm.
have for them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Then Mr. Neufeld, please, your evidence.
Thank you, and I will appreciate Ms. Knight's questions. I did notice RAC is in error. That was done by our admin, and it wasn't really. I guess she didn't take out uh, all those areas. So I do agree with the CAC area of the city. I would assume that we have different measurements, but I don't have any evidence to suggest that mine are right and the cities are wrong.
Mm.
So I will concede to the premise area of the city. That is okay. But I would say that my AC area is incorrect, so I will recalculate that in a second here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So essentially, yeah, as it's kind of broken out, we call it showroom. It really, the whole 31,000 isn't really a showroom. It's a bit of a mixture. So by page 3, you can see where the pin there is, and that would be the AC area directly on it. And then north of that is the rest of that 31,000, and that was the original build. And then the warehouse is the 16,000 to the east, higher ceiling portion there. It's actually an oil warehouse. It's a bit of a contaminated use. So storing oil is a messy thing. It's an older warehouse. I think this is would be the 98 portion. So it has been in use as that for a while. That's typically going to be very difficult to clean up. And I should, I'm quite sure this is on the environmental registry, but I didn't bring that forward. I apologize. But essentially, this one was confirmed at the board. I'm not generally arguing twice on business premises, but this one, I felt as though the rents that the city was doing compared to what's actually going on was quite a big discrepancy. And the reason being, I think what happened is the model separates these out and they get these higher rates. And realistically, that's not how this would rent out. And it's not, you can add, it's very different if you're building a 2014 portion right next door. And that would make some sense to add it in. But these are all older commercials. And I imagine that, most of the assessments you see that are like this would already be combined together. I think that's a fair estimation of it. When they are this old and throughout the years, it's a lot of comparables will be similarly reported the same way too. So it's a bit. I think that's a major issue with what's happening on the rents, because we're going, 17,000, which looks like the difference in our area at 830, and that's the oil warehouse that we have at 5. But then the rest of this here, this is mostly a 1963 truck dealer with the with working portion in the north portion there. And I'm not sure exactly which one this would put at the city, but the city's basically got a 1211 to 1355 range on those portions. I think that's very high. So we put a 9 on overall. Still somewhat following the logic of what I mentioned earlier with the $12 and the local dealers, but this one is just one of the worst ones that gets appealed. It's older, very low quality. When I was there, you could see that they had added doors, cut out doors. It's again, I should have more pictures, but I don't. I know they're here somewhere. But this is a rough building. Not at all the retail portion we would see from a typical dealer, and even the front showroom, which again my pictures don't show from the front. But this front showroom is not even high quality retail. This is 1963. It's been not immaculately kept, but I mean it's been there since 1963, so it's not going to be in a good shape no matter how you do it. But this, to be putting $12 rents on this is just not at all indicative of what this building really is. I think realistically we'd be looking more at my industrial rates than these automotives, and then possibly even the number 6 with the automotive lower ones on Regent there too. Again, maybe even for the whole thing. Those 850s Boyd would be a similar older 1970s. I think that 850 probably suits that comparison to the 9 quite well. 850 may be more appropriate even, but I did apply 9, so no issue there. But yeah, I think this one, it's the realty is at the municipal board. We will be requesting that rent change as in the next 3 or 4 years when we do get around to it. But I think for this one, I did want to make the argument again because I felt like it was a quite far away from what's really going on. So my number of 517 360 does need to change. I will take a few seconds here to do it though. So I will answer questions maybe while I do it, if that's okay. That's my presentation, and I'll give you a number in a second.
Thank you. Mr. Spacek, did you want to ask questions now, or did you want to wait until?
You know what? I have no questions on this one, so the panel can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Seelan, same question. Did you wish to wait for Mr. Neufeld to arrive at the amended number, or did you have questions that you wish to pursue before that?
I'll let him amend his number, Mr. Chair, first.
Pardon me? Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let him amend his number first, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
You do have it. It's quicker than I thought. Should I go ahead?
Yeah,
Yes.
please. What question?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So with the change in the AC only, the rounded value is 502,420.
502,420.
So what is
Okay.
the total of the utilities?
It'd be 121,450. It should match. Oh no, you know what? I'll change the area too. Sorry, I'm going to change that again. I don't. We've been using this area forever, but I should have looked into that to find out why we were off. So I'll go with the city. So I know it's going to come up a bit. Just 1 second. It's a city brief here. There's too many open. There we go. Yeah, that's right. So the difference in the area is my warehouse was 16 and some odd, and it's the next business ID. I'm gonna guess that's a mez space, but again, I don't have that here to challenge it, so I will go with the city's area. And then my total change, sorry, my total value now is 508,950.
Okay,
With
so
occupancy.
the 51,783 at 749 is what?
51,783. It's a total of the net rent changes to 744 because of the
Okay.
small change in the rate.
Okay,
So that would be 385,419.
plus then the utilities are,
123,533.
thank you.
Can you say that one more time, please?
Yeah. So annual rental value of 385,419.
And that's the base rent,
Base rent, sorry.
right?
I
Okay.
knew I said it wrong as I said it, but and
That's
then
okay.
the costs are 123,533. And rounded total is 508,950.
Now it's divided by whatever it needs to be to be right.
You know,
Well,
Yeah,
I
it
always
is, okay.
know it's not. Or is it?
Yeah,
Mr. Harden always tells me I get my rounding wrong, and I've just been trusting him on it. He's been doing most of them for me.
As long as we can get it divisible by 12, whatever number.
oh, 12, I did 9, that's why.
It's divisible. It has to be
Yeah.
divisible by 12.
Need those monthly.
I used the wrong number.
Oh, because it's a monthly. I've always wanted
Yeah, because this doesn't work then.
Yeah, because then it
Well,
also has to be, yeah. I trust whatever rounding. I can screw around with it for a few minutes, but I imagine we want to move on.
with something we can determine in deliberations. I know I've done that a number of times.
Yeah.
There's been a change in the ARV to make it divisible by 12. So
So if you took 42,413 times 12, it'd be 508,956.
Yeah, but then does it need to be end in a 0 too? And that's when my brain starts to kind of fry as I'm talking too much and trying to do math at the same time.
it doesn't have to end in a 0. As
No,
long
it
as,
doesn't.
as long as the
Okay.
total divisible by 12. It's
Yes.
it's fine. Anyway, we make thank you for that. So 508,956 is divisible by 12. Let's start this again. Mr. Seelan, any questions?
Sure, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chair. You've given us a showroom, mezzanine, warehouse. Do you know the years of each of these locations within the building?
Sorry, what was the question?
You've given us the showroom, mezzanine, warehouse breakdown. Do we know the years that these locations were built in the building?
I believe I know the showroom originally was built in 1963, and then I believe a portions were added in 2001 and 2007, and then the warehouse is the 1998. So that would be, I know the showroom and the warehouse are definitely those 2 years. So I think logically the 2001, 2007 have to be an extension of the what I'm calling a showroom, but it really is an industrial kind of area, and it's the northern portion. That
Okay.
warehouse would be the southeast, right on the corner of basically of the lot there. You can see on my page 3. That's the bottom picture.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
No, sir.
Just looking at the pictures, the Mr. Neufeld on page 3, I see the bays. That's part of the warehouse. You were talking about oil storage area as well.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
Sorry, no, the bays I actually have in as the showroom. So that would be the 31626.
Okay.
It's probably mislabeled as a showroom realistically, because it's that front portion that's facing like diagonally on the road, or like parallel to the road is the
Right.
actual showroom, and that's what we have AC. This warehouse would be the southeast higher ceiling portion. And it's a
Okay.
nice second picture there on page 3, or the last picture, sorry.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
so directly to the east of the showroom is what we're calling a warehouse, and that's an oil storage, and the bays are showroom.
Okay. I think I've got that straight now. Thank you. That's all I had. Mr. Spacek, any summary?
Yeah, just quickly, just as you're talking about that, I loaded up my old thing from before with the difference. So just to clarify, and I believe we're all saying the same thing here, but building 1 of 5. So the original showroom, 5,580 square feet, was built in 1963. Then we have building 2, which is considered a warehouse, 4,037 square feet, was built in 1998. Building 3, which is a service garage portion, built in 1998. And then we have a building 4 addition, garage addition to that. So more service, 9,100 square feet, built in 2007. And then there's also what we have classified as building 5 of 5, and this is warehouse edition, 16,905 square feet, built in 2001. So just to get some clarity there that I wanted to do during my presentation, but I didn't have it open. So that's
No, I appreciate that.
summary.
Then.
Thank
So
you.
then I was saying 98 for the warehouse, but I will agree with Johnson's, because he probably got more detailed records in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah, and again,
Yes.
I think that's kind of why the showroom itself is so much older, but then they added lower quality industrial, so we sort of saw that as a similar rent instead of breaking that up as a rent.
Thank you. Mr. Neufeld, did you have anything else to add as by way of summary?
No, I think that's great. Thank you. Appreciate Jonathan bringing up the years.
Okay, thank you. Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter and move on to number 3 on the docket. That's the street address of 1895 Brookside Boulevard. And I did see a bit of an anomaly here in this, but I will let you introduce the property and provide your evidence, please, Mr. Spacek.
Absolutely. We have the 2025 business assessment for 1895 Brookside Boulevard. This is file number 24-5150. And we have the business assessment ID of 34762. We have 76,170 across square feet across this premise. Base ARV of $9.38 $9.38. This is the Peterbilt truck, showroom slash garage. We have it fully. We have the occupancy cost is full for 76,170 square feet for a total occupancy cost of 205,659. When combined with the base RV, we have a total ARV of 920,160, which I'm asking to be confirmed today. Again, using the same comparables spoken about on the last two properties. And I've included on page 6 the board revision order for the realty hearing. And this is similar to the last one where the decision was based on our NOI, so using our rental rates of that $9.38. And then the capitalization rate was increased. So that is my presentation. If you have any specific questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Neufeld, questions?
No, thank you. Or actually, I will. Do you have was the AC area, was that confirmed, or is that just assumption assumed when it was built?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't investigate whether the air conditioning, if this place, how much of it is air conditioned or not. I don't have that with me.
Is it? I mean, just in general sense, if a business or a building is built new area, do you just kind of automatically AC it unless someone says
Yeah,
otherwise?
I think the way it's put on would depend who's doing it when. Like, does that it's kind of like on entry, did the person realize there's no AC, or did they check, or is there any HVAC plans that show? I think I don't think it's automatically taken off, but I think if I was putting this on, I would investigate based on most properties of this type have areas with no AC. So I think that's something that if anything was sent in for us, especially, we would change that if that was required.
Did you have any other questions, Mr. Neufeld?
Oh, sorry, no, those are my
Okay.
questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions?
Have you inspected this property?
I've never been in it, no.
Okay. Do we know when it was built?
Yes, I have to open my sheet from before. One momento, but I will tell you exactly when it's built.
Thank you.
1895. So yeah, it was originally built in 2004, and then there was some additions 2005 for smaller portions of the garage, and then recently, in I believe close to 2024, it was finished for another extension of the service bays along it. So it's been some piecework building.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
So how much you don't know how much is really air conditioned?
No, I don't have any confirmation of if it's all air conditioned. If some is taken off, I don't have any confirmation of that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I don't have any questions on this matter. Mr. Neufeld, your evidence, please.
Thank you. Originally, I had planned to confirm this one. We used a $10 rent at Realty. I put it forward. I really probably didn't even need a brief, but then I noticed the AC area was different. I think the 10 is high. I'm not asking it to be changed. I'm going to ask for confirmation on the ARV, base ARV. I think realistically, this is similar to the last one we just spoke of with the hodgepodge kind of areas, but much better quality. Well, but I think you could if you see my page 4, and I'll be quick because I'm not asking for much, but my page 4, the body shop would probably rent for 6, 7. This addition is newer space, and I think what really happened is the front parts, which were going, we were saying, applied it to the addition, and then I kind of missed that the old repair portion in the body shop should have been lower. But again, that's completely my error. Our error. We do too many of these at once and churn them out. But my plan was when I did this one was to, oh, I'm higher. I'll ask for confirmation. But then I noticed the AC discrepancy. It's likely that we're even less because I can't see. You would AC any of this, but I do know that the addition, which is the difference with my AC area and the cities, was not air conditioned when we were there. It's truck bays, the doors are always open. They have ventilation at the top, for because they're doing body work, but it's not AC ventilation. So I'll leave that with the panel if my number is higher. So if they want to confirm it, that it wouldn't really bother me. But I will say that our AC area is only 48,061 at the. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Spacek, questions?
I have no questions on this one. Thank you.
Ms. Knight, questions?
So the 48,061 at 36 cents is 17,000. The city has 27,000 and change or something like that.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question to the city?
Sure, please.
Would you be willing to change your air conditioning amount then?
Like if there was something to confirm that there's no air conditioning, absolutely.
But you don't have anything right now.
No, I haven't reviewed the permits. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah,
talked to
okay.
anybody at that building or inspected, or
Okay.
they haven't sent anything in saying, hey, we have, usually it's just like even an email from the owner or saying, hey, we have 45,000 square feet air conditioned. Like it's some sort of confirmation. And I haven't even looked to see if when it was put in, for some reason, maybe this one is air conditioned. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I don't have anything absolute in front of me, but I would adjust it based on any evidence that there was no air conditioning.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan, questions?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Well, my questions were going to relate to the air condition, but I think we've dealt with that. So I don't have anything further. Mr. Spacek, any summary?
I have no need for summary. Thank you.
Mr. Neufeld, any summary?
Just quickly, I appreciate what the assessor's saying. Obviously, this is something that could be easily done over an email, but they can't change it unless it's under appeal. So I think that's kind of why it's rarely when we go through and see the AC area, we go through it. But again, I think the best thing to do would be for me and an assessor to kind of go through it and actually get it right, because I even think the 48 is probably too high. But I just kind of want to comment on that. It's a little easier said than done than just hey, the AC's off, because it doesn't get fixed for a couple of years if there's no appeal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude that matter and move on to number 4 on the docket. That is the street address of 2000 Main Street. Mr. Spacek.
And I will be requesting confirmation. I should just say that out front.
Okay.
I'll make this quick.
Thank you. Then, Mr. Spacek, can you introduce the property, please, and provide a summary of the ARV?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We are looking at the 2025 business assessment for 2000 Main Street. This is file number 24-5136. And the business assessment ID is 53551. We have a total annual rental value of $622,200. This is the Vicar Ford dealership on Main Street across from Kildonan Park approximately. We have 43,693 square feet at a total ARV of 14,024. This is the base ARV of 503,781, which works out to $11.65 a square foot for the base ARV. Added is the occupancy cost of 106,496. I'm asking for the 2025 ARV to be confirmed today. And similar to our last properties, I've included the decision on page 7 as well, just showing that the NOI was used from our department with an adjusted capitalization rate. That is my presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neufeld. Certainly taking your confirmation request to heart. But do you have anything to add or any questions with respect to
no questions. I will just add something if that's okay, but I can wait till it's my turn and not just to explain my confirmation essentially.
Okay, well then we'll do that when we call on you to give your evidence on it. Ms. Knight, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Seelan?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
And I don't have any questions. So, Mr. Neufeld, you had an explanation to provide.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, this was decided by the municipal board, or sorry, the first board revision. It was under appeal. Like I said before, I don't generally like to re-argue when it's been decided, because it's the realty will just kind of follow through. The exception for 33 I found because it was big discrepancies, but this one, we're arguing against the 1165 versus 10. So I figured that's the decision was made already, so not to bring it back up for this case, and will be I think one more if it's similar. But I just want to say that the reason it's 10 versus the 12, which I was mentioning, is that this one is much older than the rest. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Seelan, do you have any questions as a result of that statement, or
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Ms. Knight?
No, sir.
Sorry, Mr. Spacek, I skipped over you. Did you have any questions?
It's no problem. I have no questions.
Thank you, and I don't have anything further. Any need of a summary?
Not on my end. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter and move on to number 5 on the list. That is the street address of 1424 Regent. Mr. Spacek.
Sorry, this will also be confirmed if that speeds things up.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Mr. Spacek, then, if you can introduce the property and provide a summary of your evidence and the total ARV being requested.
Absolutely. Thank you. We are looking at file number 24-5133. This is business assessment ID 39474. We are located now at 1424 Regent Avenue West. This is a Vicar Nissan dealership. We have 32,759 square feet with a total annual rental value of 516,960. This is based off the base ARV of 436,350. That works out to $13.32 a square foot, with the occupancy costs totaling 80,598. This adds up to our total annual rental value of 516,960. I'm asking to maintain this ARV and included the same comparables as before. If we also scroll down to page 6, you'll just see the decision is similar to our last ones this one asked for confirmation. This decision is based on the NOI income presented by the city of Winnipeg. So using our rental rates again with an adjusted capitalization rate. So that is my presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Neufeld, have you any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Knight?
No, sir.
Mr. Seelan?
No questions, Mr. Chair.
And I have no questions. Mr. Neufeld, I will ask if you've got anything else to add with respect to this property.
Just the same story as last time. It's 12 versus 1332, and there was a decision, so we'll respect it today. And for confirmation, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any summary, Mr. Spacek?
Not on my end, thank you.
Thank you. Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude that matter and move on to number 6 and the last matter on the docket. That is the street address of 1555 Lagimodiere. Mr. Spacek, please.
Thank you very much. We are now looking at 1555 Lagimodiere Boulevard. We have a 2025 AR business assessment appeal. We have file number 24-5066. We're at business assessment ID 55337. This is the Focus Hyundai dealership located on Lagimodiere. We have 26,430 square feet of dealership with a total annual rental value of 442,200. You will notice we have a base ARV or a base rental rate of $14.03. We have a total occupancy cost of $71,361 with an annual rental value of $442,200. I am asking that be maintained today. You can see I've included a picture on page 2. And we also have a newer build. It was, I'll have to check the exact date, but it is built in the last 5 years or so. I've included the rent comparables on page 3. You can see the first grouping of comparables. Comparables 1 through 13 are located on Regent Avenue. These are the closest group of big box retail stores, again, with rental rates ranging from $14 to $23.50. But the average is $17.85, weighted average $18.11, median $17.50. And this is a pretty standard dealership with a service. You can see on the right hand side on page 2, it has a service drive-through area. It has the showroom and then the offices in the back. Similar style as most newer dealerships that are built. And we also, I believe this one was not heard at the 2025 Board of Revision. So if you have any questions on it, please let me know. But there is no prior decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Neufeld, questions?
I noticed you don't put the land in the business tax, I guess, but I guess if I could ask you to look at an aerial on mine, would you agree that that's a bit tight for a newer dealer or not?
Yeah, I just see it. I don't know the exact land to building to land off the top of my head here, but yeah, it looks like it doesn't have a. I mean, I can see in your picture there it has some room there. You can see they're all parking them in the corner there. It doesn't look like it has the largest land to building ratio. I would
Those
agree.
are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, have you any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Mr. Seelan, questions?
Yes, what year was this built in?
Oh, that's a question. Yes, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
there we
Sorry.
go. I'm just checking here. Sorry. I had it in front of me. Where are you?
2020.
Thank you, 2020. I'll take trust there because it's not loading for me.
And have you inspected this location by chance?
I haven't been in it, no.
Okay, understood. Thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Spacek, I'm just looking at your comparables and 1570 Regent Avenue, there's a number of units there, but the lease terms at numbers 2, 8, and 9. Number 9 is in 1570 Regent, but those terms have expired certainly well before the reference date. Are there any updated lease amounts for that, or is that what we're left with?
Yeah, good eye. I don't believe they've been updated. I can't confirm right now if there's a step up in place on those. But
Okay.
I just tell you that yeah, the rents were that as of a past reference date, not exactly the most up to date on those three.
Okay, thank you. The other question I have is with respect to the air conditioning, the occupancy costs. I see that the premise area has got the heat, electricity, water, and air conditioning to the total of 26,430. On the other properties, the other properties we're dealing with today, there has been, generally speaking, a reduction in the area for air conditioning. Is this entire property air conditioned, or is that something that's just slipped through the cracks?
Yeah, I can't confirm if that's been confirmed or not on this one, but yeah, I don't have a note showing that there's been confirmed that air conditioning space, but I don't know if a newer build maybe has all air conditioning. I can't confirm right now.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Those are my questions. Mr. Neufeld, please, your evidence.
Thank you. Again, I'm on the same page as Jonathan with the air conditioning. I don't have information showing that it isn't. I would anticipate no. These, if you look at my page 2, you can see the 2 different color roofs there. Um, Often what we can do, and it's a little blurry here, but you can zoom in to see if there's air units. But even if they are, they're likely HVAC for because they're working in cars in there, so there's automotive. So you wouldn't actually be able to air condition comfortably someone there is working on cars because you have an air makeup that's pulling all that exhaust out, and you generally have the doors open too all summer anyway because there are people going in and out. So I've never seen an air conditioned automotive shop like that. But again, I don't have information to challenge it. I remember looking at this thinking I should try and figure it out, but I got nothing there, nothing to show it. But I anticipate that portion, and I won't ask for the change, but I anticipate that's something we should be doing going forward and looking at. But in regards to the rent, again, all the information that I said before would go carry forward. The reason we went to 13 is because it's newer, but the reason we didn't go higher than 13 is because of the small land to building ratio. It's tight for a dealer. I think they wanted it because of the visibility, which is fair, but it's cars. A lot of the auto malls would be 5-1, maybe even 7-8-1, some of them, and they really benefit from having more space because you obviously want your inventory where the customer can see. This one would have some offsite storage that they'd be using for the site because there's no way they only have this few cars. They make good use of it because they have cars all around the edge. And that's all honestly to their benefit because they like people driving down Lagimodier, similar to the Mercedes dealer on Kenniston. Is they can see it as you drive by, but it's does that add rental value? Not exactly. They've just been creative with the space to use it as a marketing kind of concept. So I think we think that 13 is very fair for this, and I'll ask that my information and all from the former properties go forward and be applied to this. The request is 14,950, and this one wasn't heard at Realty. They got back to us about 3 days after the deadline. It was a bit unfortunate. This is the same owner as the Mercedes and the Pinnacle Auto Mall in Kenniston, and we didn't get them on time.
Thank you. Then, Mr. Spacek, questions?
I have no questions. Thank you very much.
Mr. Seelan, any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Ms. Knight, questions?
No, sir.
And I don't have any questions. Mr. Spacek, any summary?
I have no need for summary. Thank you for your time today.
Mr. Neufeld, any summary?
No, thank you. I think I took everything you should have.
Okay, then having heard this matter, having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter. And that is all the matters on the docket today. So we will be adjourning the hearing, but thank you very much for being succinct and for moving this along. That is very much appreciated, Mr. Spacek and Mr. Neufeld, and have a very good weekend.
All right.
Same
You
to you.
too. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.